Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Padma SHRI Balabhavan group of schools has carved a niche in the educational landscape of India and has a proud history that spans over 60 years. Listen to our notable alumni echoing their impactful experiences, soaked in reverence and gratitude to the legendary educationist, their loving Big Miss, Dr. Mrs. YGP, and her team of dedicated teachers. We are extremely happy that PSBB is coming out with a new video series of nostalgic interviews titled Our Glorious Aluminus. Each episode of this series will unfold our proud alumna and alumnus of PSBB, sharing their experiences at school and how these unforgettable moments shape their lives. We hope this series flashes a spotlight on PSBB's rich annals that will inspire us to rededicate ourselves to our glorious past and move towards an even more glorious and radiant future. We hope that you would enjoy listening and watching these episodes as much as we would. Thank you.
Hello to everyone watching and a very warm welcome to all of you to a brand new episode of Our Glorious Aluminus. Our Glorious Aluminus is the show where we bring you stories of high achievers, trailblazers and pioneers who've left an indelible mark on their field while being alumni of the Padma SHRI group of institutions. In today's episode, we have a very renowned and very interesting personality, winner of numerous awards at the state, Indian and global stage, the most recent of which was the prestigious Sangeeta Kalanidhi Award. Our guest today is someone who's won so many millions of hearts across the world with his virtuoso violin performances. Please join me in welcoming GR Krishnan sir, or Gjr Krishnan sir as he was known when he was in school. Sir, welcome sir. Thank you very much for being here and thank you for being part of the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you are a 1976 alumnus of Padma SHRI.
Absolutely.
Right. Nungambakam. Nungambakam was the only campus those days. There was no KK Nagar yet.
Yes.
When did you start? Which class did you join the school?
I was initially in Shankara Bala Vidyalaya. We used to live in Ramanujam Street. So 3 houses, or the second house from our residence was Shankara Bala Vidyalaya. It was a Tamil medium school. So in the year 69, I joined Padma SHRI, as both my parents felt that education is an important part of your life. So I went to join Lake Area Padma SHRI in the year 69. Till 76, I was in Padma SHRI.
So that was class 4?
Class 5.
Class
69, 70, yes.
So you moved from an Tamil medium school to an English medium school.
Yes.
எப்படி இருந்தது உங்க early experiences? Do you have memories of that நீங்க join பண்ணும்போது?
I was very nervous. I was very conscious because I was not fluent with English, and that was a very dampener for my personality. But I don't know how I got over it, but naturally the school atmosphere should have encouraged me to come out of it. Yeah.
What early incidents, what specific memories do you have of the early days of your school?
Early days, so many memories. I cannot pinpoint one particular, because whatever occurs to me, I'll tell you. For example, the results, we used to give an inland envelope on which we used to write our name, address, and we used to, the result வரும்போது
நீங்க முதல்ல எழுதி அது கொடுத்து
the exam, final exam ஆறதுக்கு முன்னாடி we used to give it, and each day when the results were about to come, we would nervously watch the postman.
whether he's bringing the
அதுக்கப்புறம் அதை பிரித்து அதை பார்க்கறதுக்குள்ள அந்த நர்வஸ்னஸ், அண்ட் இன்வேரியபிளி சில சமயம் நாட் ஆல்வேஸ் குவார்டர்லி ஹாஃப் இயர்லி இல்லைனா கொஞ்சம் ரெட் இங்கால அண்டர்லைன் பண்ணியிருப்போம். ஸோ அதெல்லாம் பார்ட் ஆஃப் தி கேம் ரொம்ப. அண்ட் ஐ கேன் recollect all the names, most of the names. Mrs. Ganesh Rao was my classmate, class teacher when I came into the 5th. அப்புறம் Mrs. Pushpabala Jagam, she was the class teacher in 10th and 11th. And Mrs. Prema, she was a class teacher in the class 8. So Mr. Ramachandran, so many teachers.
Amazing that you remember these names vividly.
And K.S. Vijayalakshmi, Mrs. Hamsa Ramdas.
Hamsa Ramdas was our principal in KK Nagar. So,
and she's, we still keep in touch. That is interestingly, because music was the common factor there.
Of course.
And I should tell you that when I was studying, there was no Bharat Kalachar. It was started probably in 87.
Correct.
So I was just one among the kids. And probably the other persons did not know what violin playing was also. Kunjo comments lang kuda varum. And I mean, it's all in the game. So anniversary la vachadu I cannot forget. And there used to be one Sridhar who used to play the veena.
Okay.
Now I think he's in Australia. And Vidushi Prema Hariharan madam, அவரோட son Sundar Hariharan, he was the mridangist. So we used to...
So you were the orchestra, so to say.
Yes. Every anniversary we used to perform. And one incident I cannot forget is class 10, the school was sent to partake in a competition to a college.
Oh.
That was a big thing. I was not very... I mean, அந்த நாளில் this is not a co-ed school at the time. And meeting girls is something...
or a strange
feeling. And wherever you see there are girls. I went to Stella Merit.
நீங்க எந்த காலேஜ் சொல்ல போறேன்னு வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு.
So elocution competition and drama அதெல்லாம் எல்லாம் ஒரு பேக்கேஜா. And I played one song, Ganamurthenu வாசிச்சா. I mean, I wouldn't even look up those days. இப்படியே தான் குனிஞ்சுட்டு வாசிச்சிருப்பேன். And I heard so many whistles. I was totally...
Your first fan club.
Yes.
Started there.
And prize வந்து எனக்கு கொடுத்தா.
Oh, of course. That goes without saying that you would have won the prize. I mean, you obviously grew up in a very, very illustrious, family with long musical tradition and heritage. Your father was one of the greatest players, of course, ever. What is your first memory of playing the violin? When did you first pick up the violin? When did you first play? When was your first performance?
I mean, first public performance happened in the year 1973, September 9th at SHRI Krishnan. So I started playing the violin when I was 5.
When you were 5?
1965. My father was continuously on tours.
Right.
He was very busy performer, accompanying vocalists and leading his own violin Venuvina and also playing duets with my aunt, Srimati Birmanandam. I started learning vocal music from my grandfather. V.R. Gopalaya. He was a strict disciplinarian. My home was not any different from the school.
Right.
Both were very tightly,
strict.
very strict, and perfect foil, I should say. And after my stopped playing due to some personal reasons, the attention started shifting on to me. And my father was, I was very scared of my father also.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
He was also a very
strict person, yes. And I consider him only as my guru because I never saw the father, and there are no regrets, absolutely. And when my father took over, I was all the more nervous. And he took over in the year 1971. And we used to go to Nandi Hills every summer, and a host of students would accompany him, and each would be split into groups where from morning till night we had to do nothing else but practice and learn new songs. And only breaks happened when we went to the hotel to take our food. So it was such a rigorous training, and school was not any less. The homework, the amount of workload, the assignments, the projects, it was such a demanding. I had just time for these two.
But நீங்க ஸ்கூல்ல இருக்கும்போதே later on you started touring to perform outside Madras?
Yes, I should tell you an incident. And this happened in 1975, November. I got selected in radio without audition because they thought my playing was exceptional. So I was exempt. And the greatest honor is to play an All India Radio Sangeet Sammelan. It's a national program, national level. So I got to accompany my father and guru in 1975. So my father obviously had to come to the school. He came personally. I remember that. He came to Mrs. YGP cabin, and I was nervous. And
You were also there in the cabin?
no, I was
You were
outside. outside. So he wanted to take the permission to
You had to go to Delhi to play.
for leave. It was November times. Obviously, what Mrs. YGP would say, I know. No. She said, no, nothing doing. He's not going. Otherwise, we won't allow him to sit for the model exams. She said so. Then he said, this is a national program. So what? The studies are equally important. That's what she said. Very strict she was. And what happened was, thanks to her, we couldn't refuse the program. My first plane trip happened. It's an irony that my father, who is the main performer, came by train, and I
played because you had to.
Because I couldn't take any
Holiday.
Yeah, Saturday I went, Sunday, then Monday I was there in school.
So indirectly, Mrs. YGP was responsible for your first plane
trip.
That is a new thing that I think we have not heard any other guest say so far.
Yes.
So that's very interesting.
She had her priorities right. So that's she didn't, and she was very strict at that time. And
But how did you personally cope with this pressure, but this expectation on both sides of these performances versus, because that required, like you said, a lot of diligence and practice.
Yeah.
But the academics were not very easy either.
No. என்னெல்லாம் subject அப்போ இப்பெல்லாம் it's a different kind of pressure. அப்போ matriculation batchக்கு
You were the last or
penultimate
matriculation.
76. So American history, Indian history, C.P. Hillன்னு ஒரு புக்கு, கோச்சங் லியாங்னு ஒரு ஜாகிரஃபி புக்கு.
Amazing memory.
No, you cannot forget. Childhood memories are such that I can. And I should mention about the Veda class, the moral science class, and music class.
Music class. நான் தான் கேட்கறேன். Music class இருந்தது இல்லையா ஸ்கூலில்?
Music class. அப்போ Mrs. Rajalakshmi was teaching. கொஞ்சம் பசங்கள்லாம் கலாட்டாலாம் பண்ணுவாங்க அப்போ. But we used to have a very nice time. இந்த வேதா கிளாஸ்லேயும் நிறைய, I think those are the classes which really made a difference apart from the education, the values that we are carrying as citizens or responsible citizens of this country. The values, it connects us wherever we are, any PSBBN, we can identify. And Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. What a way to greet Dr. Mrs. YG Parsati. Every exam in the sense, and the metric exam, final exam, she used to go to the center, probably at the gate or at the entrance. She would sit carrying some prasadam.
Oh, wow.
And she would bless.
That's very bless and encourage all of you to.
And give a positive energy.
Amazing.
And she did not, long after I discontinued, this practice she continued.
Was still on.
She's an amazing lady, great visionary, and no words of praise are enough.
நீங்க இந்த ஸ்கூல்ல வந்து you spoke about the values and so on, yeah. So according to you, school timeல whatever you absorbed or inculcated, what are some of those things that have stayed with you across your long professional career?
See, 76 batch, we still stay connected, and each one respects the other, and we do not care about the financial status or anything. Everybody is equal and everybody is your friend. And the discrimination, we see the person, the values that he carries, not the material things that he carries. So these are the things obviously each one of us learned from this, and which is the equanimity with which you approach life, and the way you are grounded, the humility. It is like a perfect foil ice. It is from home and also
And from the school.
from the school. Both should work towards the same direction.
Sir, unga careerல as a professional musician, playing at the elite level, at the highest level, நீங்க வந்து have you seen challenging moments? Have you seen moments where you have felt down, where you have felt that it is very tough for me, and how have you faced those moments?
Yeah. It is very, to sit on stage with my father at that tender age. In 73, if I knew how great he was and what a genius he was, I would never have come and sat on stage with
But
him.
there was no pressure. You were innocent at that time.
Innocent, but I had to deliver whatever he taught.
Yes.
And that was a very, each concert, so much of information, so much of music nuances had to be absorbed and delivered. You have to learn at every stage of your life. Then only you can progress. So there are many challenges. Not only challenges that are posed to you, but when you perform in halls which do not have, of course,
Acoustics, which are good.
so and mic சரியா இருக்காது. ஒரே அங்கே பின்னாடி கல்யாண கச்சேரிலாம் at time இந்த பாத்திரத்தை போட்டு உருட்டின்னு இருப்பா. But you have to view it as your penance. Amidst that, the Enter the Dragonல I used to quote this. அந்த ஃபைட் பண்ணிட்டு ப்ரூஸ்லி போயிட்டு அந்த ஒரு எலிவேட்டர் இருக்கும். அங்கே ஒரு 2 seconds அங்கே போகிறதுக்குள்ளே he will sit in a meditation pose. அப்படி பத்மாசனத்தை உட்காந்து மெடிடேட் பண்ணுவோம். அதே மாதிரி தான் இங்கே என்ன சத்தம் இருந்தாலும் you get into the music. So you get into a different world. So that is the philosophy this music field is also.
Fantastic. In all your travels across the world for concerts, performances, have you bumped into or met PSBBNs everywhere?
Absolutely. We have formed a 1976 group, PSBB group. Initially, this happened when I traveled to USA. My friend Ravichandran, PSBBN, he came to my concert and we said, ரெண்டு பேர் தான் முதல்ல ஆரம்பித்தோம். அப்புறம் அது டிஸ்கண்டினியூ ஆகிடுது. அப்புறம் it has been revived. KR Rajaram and S. Murali, S. Rajaram, G. Shivakumar. G. Shivakumar is a professor. S. Rajaram is in Gulf and he is a chartered accountant. And S. Murali. And the brothers எல்லாமே இந்த ரோல் ஆஃப் ஆனரில் பார்த்தா அவள் பேர் தான் வரும், the brothers. So we used to look at them like this because such studious guys, and they were always ahead of the class. அவள்லாம் மீட் பண்ணோம். பட் பிரசாத், வேரியஸ் கைஸ் ஐ மெட். அண்ட் இப்போது ஒரு வெட்டிங் போனேன். ஒரு சீனியர் he came and met me. Many who never used to listen to music are turning to music. So with age, you mellow down and you evolve.
Sir, ஒரு final kind of question to you. இன்னைக்கு வந்து parents as well as students have lots of avenues, opportunities open in front of them. Academics continues to be very important and prime focus, but a lot of children also have aspirations to do other things and to take those less traveled paths, roads like you mentioned. What is your perspective, advice to the students and parents who are watching this video in terms of how they can channelize their career aspirations, especially if they have aspirations around music?
Yeah, I mean, it is a passion-driven thing. You have to have the spark or the fire within you. அது எல்லாருக்கும் கிடைக்காது. கிடைச்சது வந்து டிஸ்கரேஜ் பண்ணுறது போல ஒரு சம்திங் which should never be done. அந்த ஸ்பார்க் இருந்து if the parent is able to see the spark, they should go all out to encourage. இப்போல்லாம் ஹோம் ஸ்கூலிங்லாம் வந்துடுது and people are doing, but there are some people who are still on the school. See, for example, this can be parallelly done. It's not bragging about myself. I completed my MCom in Lalgudi. I did my ICWA. I finished my ACS. Till MCom I was going to college. The other two professional qualifications I did.
You studied just on your by yourself?
Postal. And I worked as a company secretary in SHRI group of companies, because the chairman was very much great bhakta of my father, R. Tyagarajan sir. He was great admirer, and he used to call himself Lalgudi extremist. In the sense, such
அவ்வளோ ஒரு பேஷன்,
தீவிரவாதி. So அதெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு now without any regrets, I mean, you don't see that so many hours were wasted on education. It's not a waste. Each opportunity is a learning experience. You should try to assimilate and learn and grab from those things, absorb. So this is within you, and parents should definitely encourage. And nowadays, Bharat Kalachar PSBB is a very good example, and the teachers are also very understanding, and they are encouraging. The other day, and Padamla வந்து they felicitated me. That's one amazing thing. I should mention it, go on record here. There is the first felicitation after Sangeeta Kalanidhi that happened, and what an honor to be honored by your own alma mater. And I was really touched with the way they had projected in this very auditorium. Yes, they had made a beautiful film, and such talent. They a group of boys played and sang, and amazing talent we have. So music, it will change your thinking. The math or anything that is very abstract, it will become very normal and easily intelligible to you. You can be more brilliant in your academics when you pursue some arts. When I have done it, anybody can do it. You have to have that faith in yourself and the resilience to work hard and never give up.
Sir, you're an inspiration, sir. You're an absolute inspiration for all of us at SHRI. We are all very, very proud that you are an alumnus as well. And thank you very, very much for coming here, sparing your time, sparing your really valuable thoughts, and sharing your wonderful stories.
Yeah, and I'm eternally grateful to all the gurus, all the teachers, not only the teachers, but the supporting staff. I remember even Subramaniam. He was the caretaker, and the ayas, because like 5 fingers, everybody contributes. I'm very happy that you are taking it up and doing this for inspiring people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.